the Family Forest Network was a project conceived through 11 private landowner groups. We applied and were successful in getting funding through the Forest Innovation Transfer Trust for a large-scale study of ecological forestry on small private landowners. Ecological forestry is forestry that encompasses the entire site, so the economics of doing harvesting, but also looks at wildlife and biodiversity values and tries to manage for the ecosystem as a whole. You want to grow timber, but we also want to make sure that we provide habitat, provide ecological goods and services through maintaining healthy forests and really specifically managing for older, more climax stand of timber that typically would have been there, pre-colonization. With our PTA process, which PTA stands for pre-treatment assessment, you're looking specifically at what vegetation type it is, which kind of describes the tree cover and ground cover, soil types, and how the trees are developing. So we look at things, we call them AGS and UGS, so acceptable growing stock and unacceptable growing stock, and that just mostly refers to whether it's a good, vigorous, healthy tree that we think is going to grow into a saw log becomes acceptable. Unacceptable would be anything else. And then specific to this project, we've added in a term that we call ecological growing stock. Say, like in this stand, this is kind of a hemlock stand. We might have a hemlock tree in there that is a poor economic value. It doesn't have good form or anything, but it's a healthy tree and it's an important tree ecologically. Like hemlock's some of our oldest tree species, so we're trying to capture the values of that tree outside of the monetary value of it.
We're currently on a property in Southampton that was owned by my grandfather, purchased back in 1944. The property is roughly 300 acres, of which 80% of that is woodlot. This property was what I would refer to as going home. It's always been a place that I could come back to and help re-energize at times. I think overall our interest was in just maintaining or helping, encouraging the ecological value that's here, habitat, and the diversification of the vegetation. We're looking at the future, not only for ourselves, but animals in the trees, whatever vegetation around us.
For most landowners, it'd be not much different than doing just a regular harvest, a regular stumpage deal. The only big thing for them is within our agreement, we ask that post-harvest we'll try and leave the area undisturbed. We don't want to do a bunch of extra harvesting for basically a normal rotation period. So in a stand like this, it'd be 10 to 15 years. And then the other ask is that, you'll let us come back at least for that time frame before another harvest happens. A big part of the study is looking at the actual true cost of doing this type of work, both from a harvesting perspective, but also, we've got biologists that are going to come check every site, and that's something that we feel that a lot of landowners are interested in, and it's not really a service that's available to them now. So we have specific vegetation types and stand types that we're looking for, really geared around small private landowners. Our minimum harvest size is about 5 hectares, which is 12 or 13 acres, so not a huge woodlot. If you're even a landowner with 20 acres, if you happen to have the right vegetation type, that's enough for us. The goal is to set it up as a long-term project where we'll monitor 10, 20, 50 years into the future. The overall health, the overall development is kind of the overarching goal, and if we can make a few dollars while we're here doing the work, great, but that's not the main reason, that's not the main goal of why we're here and doing this type of work.
I think people are becoming disconnected with the land. Well, maybe there's an opportunity to help reconnect people. We now have a chance, to nurture the forest. If it's not to be of economic importance, it has to be of ecological importance.